Hello guys, good afternoon. Welcome to this episode. In this episode, we'll be talking about using artifacts and job dependencies on GitLab. So before now, we talked about setting up account and things, and then come down to seeing different kinds of stages in the job, multi-stage, and then last one was we talking about variables. But today, let's see how to use artifacts and job dependencies. Let's get back into our pipeline that we created. So these are just the pipeline. So we've been fiddling with this hello world now, but that's fine. So maybe it's time to sort of make up a new one. So let's make up a new one so we don't have too many things lying around. So here, let's call it what are we going to call this stage? Let's call it as artifacts. All right, so let's call, you don't have to call it this, but this is just like a name for the stage anyway. So I'm going to go here and just create that. So I'm just going to go here and just say artifacts of type artifact, and then here next, so I want to have stage. So here will be stage, press and enter. Within this stage now, I want to have actually, so I want to really name this. This is the stage, what it is. Right, so the next one is I want to have a script. So within this script, guys, I want to talk about this artifacts. So artifacts is one of it. I think most of us know already, but artifact is what you get after building a job, like the product, or after running a test or something like test report, anything really like the output of your code when it is compiled or built or run or some whatever. So that is artifact, something that you're taking away from your code to keep. So that is artifacts. There's a way that, because you know that GitLab pipelines are based on the principle of what some people call as liquid pipeline, or probably something like you say Docker-based pipeline that will run and tear down and just destroy itself. So now there's need for you to now collect everything that your pipeline has produced, or like certain things that it has produced. So if you have a stage, for instance, you have built a job and you're kind of looking to keep something so you can reference it, or probably just on the upcoming job. So this is the first job now. Maybe this is going to produce something that the next stage will consume. That is really like a good example. So for instance, let's set up something. This is just like a basic thing. So I'm just going to make a directory called, for instance, I'll say build output. Well, it's not, there's no output, there's no build output, but I'm just making up something. In this case here, I'll just do equal here, and I'll just say on this one, I'll just probably just type in something there. So I'll say build successful or build completed. Let's say I'll just type build completed like that. So, oh, sorry, just can't type build completed like that. So with exclamation mark. So this is what I want to echo, and I want to actually echo it and write it into a file, and it will be a file that is within this directory here. So I've made this directory and I want to store it here. So this file would be, let's call this file, these are just made up things as an output, and I'll just store it as a .txt. So what will happen here, I'll just echo out and create an artifacts. This will make this directory on the fly, and then this will just take this word build complete and then paste it within this text file. All right, so now we've done this. Now we need to, it will do it, but we need to be able to collect this thing, because if we leave it behind, it will just tear down and die once this job stage is gone. Right, so to do that, now we now need to use something that GitLab calls as artifacts here. Okay, so this artifact, I'll just shift this so it can be clear what I'm doing. So this artifacts here, it takes the most important, it's not even this auto-generated thing that I'm concerned. The most important thing that it takes is what we call as path. So this path is where it would store those things that it has really is gathering. So here I like to tab to have like indent. So here I'm going to pick up this file from here to here down. I'm just going to pick it up. So once you mark this like that, it will just pick it up. In fact, if I take out this, it will pick up everything within this directory. Well, one of them is this. So in case maybe you have like a lot that you want to do, so that should be enough really. All of these other ones are good as well. Let's start with this one. This one says it will keep it for 30 days. If you just change it, probably let's say you want to keep it for 5 days, you can just do that. Access, it granted everybody access. And then here, when this can only gather when the job succeed, but all of these ones are not really important. Tracked and untracked. If you want it to be tracked by Git, just do true. But I'm not really interested with all of this now. If you take them out as an example, they will assume their default values. If you leave them there, you can override those things as well, but maybe we should leave it. Let's leave it there for instance. So here is this stage that this artifact is gathered, is created actually, and then gathered, right? So this will GitLab will publish this, as we said, for the next 5 days. But what happens is when you go to the next stage, so the next stage would be, maybe let's say for instance you want to let's probably just put another stage here just for the sake of argument. So here I will just call this one let's say something like access artifacts as well, like that. So here is the next stage here. I can't spell today, I don't know why. So just take this now and then just come down and create a a stage as well. So I'm going to do that. I'm actually just going to do this, and oh sorry, how many times have I done? Yeah, that's fine. So what I would now need to do is to indent this one now. So tab, and just to keep things simple, I'll just do script here. So if I do script here now, I'll just go below, and this is now accessing this artifacts. Well, to access this thing now, I should be able to, because this artifact, once it's published, is now going to be available for all to actually use. So what I would need to do to prove to you that I have been able to contact this artifact is probably add that file just to see the content. So the file itself is this, and then once you've gathered an artifact, it's now globally cached, kind of. So I'll just simply just say cat here, and probably just do the last one here, just to say echo test passed, because I'm testing it, isn't it? So I'll say test passed, something like that. Just so if I see this, it simply means that the test has already passed, isn't it? So this is how to actually access the artifact that you gathered. So the most important thing is actually to gather the artifact, but then once it's gathered, this artifact will be available for all to see. So now let's go in here and check in this code and see what is going on. So I'll just do git status, and then I'll do git add, and then do git commit, and I'll just do that, and I'll just do push origin prod. Maybe it's time to change this branch name anyway, but for now let's crack on. So just go back into this thing here, and we will see what is going to happen. So let's go back, let's go to the pipeline and see this thing run. So there will now be more stages now. So the first one would be artifact, this will be access artifact, this will now be hello, then like that. So I'm just adding more stages, isn't it? So let's go and wait for these things to finish. Okay, the first stage is complete now, as you can see. So here is artifact. So this is just going through, so it's going to make a directory here, and it's going to echo this thing onto this file, right? And then it would automatically pick it up and upload them. You can see here this wasn't happening before on a pipeline, but now you can see that things are now happening. It will zip them up and upload them to this API path. It's at the moment of recording, it's using version 4. Everything here is happening automatically because you've told GitLab what to do. So if you want to see that it has actually stored, you can just go to browse and just go look for that. This is build, and this is the text. Let's see the content of this text. So here it says you're being redirected away from GitLab to actually see. Let's see. This is where the access level comes. Everyone can access it. So I'll go here just open up this and see what is there. So you can kind of see, let's zoom this out. You can see that there is now something called build complete within that. That's fantastic. So this is good, and it would keep this job, as we said, it will keep it for 5 days. So if we're able to like go back and see, it would tell you that this job will be retained for 5 days. Let's go back one step and let's go back into this and see. Here is that artifact. So let's see if you tell. So here, these artifacts are the latest. They will not be deleted even if it's expire or until, but it will just tell you more about this artifact really. But let's move on to the next stage now, where we want to access that artifacts, which is the next stage. Here we'll just click on this and just go, and this job is complete. So here we say cat this file, and there you go. So this artifact is now retrieved successfully. Thank you. So as this happens now, you notice that there might now be some people can now actually make a mistake really. So as an example, now we got this artifact being gathered here and then being used on the rest of the jobs. Like for instance, we've just used here as an example. You can carry on using these artifacts here, here, and here. Well, sometimes disciplining steps might need to be important or necessary, because people might want to go and try to access this job before the artifact is even gathered. Now that will present a problem, because that job stage, or this stage, I like to call it stage. Each of these is a stage or job. So that job stage would fail. So say for instance, if I want to access this artifact here, or simply put, you can just take this one here and just put it before here like that. So if I do this, this will fail. So that's why there is need to now have something like this. Just have something else we call dependencies. So dependencies is saying who comes before the other. It's kind of a way to force this. I mean, it's doing it intrinsically here, but you really want to force it to say that this job, for instance, this job wouldn't need to run until this job is complete. So GitLab has like a keyword for doing that. It's called dependency. So let's go here and just type the word dependency. So dependencies now will ask you for the name of the job, of the stage that you want it to depend on. So as an example, here is accessing the artifact stage. It depends on this guy. So I want this artifact. So you just take the name that you've given it here and just put it here. It's that simple. So that way, this job wouldn't even start, even if it comes first, until this one has completed. That's what this is about. So if we check in this code quickly and just go and have a look, it would. So I'm just going to commit. I'm just going to like push this job up, and we can go and see an example of this dependency. So dependencies is one depending on the other, and then observing that rule. So instead of implicitly saying that, I think there's a YAML error. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, sorry. I think so if you hover here, you can see that this is just saying I've just like wrongly referenced this. So what you're going to reference is not this, any of this name. It is just the name of that stage. As an example, this one is called artifact. So you just take this stage, but what it takes is the stage or the job name. So you take this thing that it is called and just put it here. I mean, I can just try to do it this way, because as you can see here, we've just put this colon. I don't know what that would amount to. Let's check in this code again and see what's happening. Just commit, and then I'll just push this job up, and I'll go back in and see what is going on if this is still messing about. There you go. So this is running. I think the mistake, as we said, is we not referencing the stage name rather than the job name. So again, just quickly, this is the job name here, and then this is the stage name. Okay, let's go back in and see. So go back in here. So this job, I mean, it should still run as before, but this time around, if the other one tries to run before this other one, in actual fact, If you go back to this pipeline, you would see the graph there. It would actually just draw it. Let's get in. You see that there's a link. This job ain't gonna start until this is complete. Even if when you do parallel pipeline concept, which we're going to do in the coming days, so this job must wait for its parents. They would actually just go hand in hand, and that's what this is about. So this would, if we go in and look at this, you just do cat, but it takes a minute to load, and it is successful. So you can see this is now, echoed out this, but this time around they now have dependencies. And this is what we are talking about artifacts and dependencies. They are the key concept in building jobs really in GitLab. Thank you.